Welcome to another episode of Roar Time. I am your host and game day commentator, Richard Holdridge. I'm here with head coach Jason Gibson. Coach, we have one more week left to go in the regular season, but the craziness continues in the National Arena League. The Columbus Lions get a huge road victory over the Carolina Cobras, but it wasn't easy. You had to fight off that late surge by the Cobras. They had 33 unanswered points. You jumped out to a 39-13 lead, but you hang on for the 47-46 victory, and now you are 6-5 on the season. Taking a look at your latest standings in the National Arena League right now, the Albany Empire in first place for the first time this season with a 7-4 record. Carolina falls to 8-5, which puts you at 6-5. Jacksonville's at 7-6. And of course, the San Antonio Gunslingers and the Orlando Predators are eliminated. Coach, a lot of stuff happening before the game. First of all, let's take it all the way back to July 12th when the Albany Empire suspended Tommy Grady, their quarterback. He comes out of retirement. I don't know if it was a desperate move by Carolina. They signed Tommy Grady. He gets the start at quarterback. And Carolina just re-signed Malachi Jones, Tommy Hills. I mean, Carolina was really going for it all.
Well, yeah, I mean, they were already in first place, and they went for the gusto and dropped the bank account. So, it's pro football. You got to do what you got to do to win. You know what I mean? Exactly. And you got to play the games, and you play the games, and you see what happens. So, it's a chance you got to take on both ends. I can't speak for their organization. I only speak for ours and what makes ours run and what keeps our organization in longevity for 15, 16 years. You know, we do what's fiscally best for us, and they're going to do what's fiscally best for them. And, you know, I respect Tommy a ton. He's a really good quarterback. You know, all those guys, Tommy and Malachi and Joe Hills and, you know, Jabari Buckley and Mike Green. Those are all top-tier, top-of-the-line players. So, you know, you can't fault them for it.
Well, let's talk about the game itself, because I was watching it, and it was from start to finish the most nerve-wracking, craziest game I have witnessed this season.
Good, it's entertainment.
Yeah, the real winners are the fans of the league.
The emotions of that game, the highs and the lows on both sides. I mean, it's like a really good movie. You know, when you look at a movie script, you come out and you start to get in the movie, and the plot thickens, and you start talking about characters, and you build it up, and then all of a sudden something bad always happens in a movie, and then at the end they figure out a way to fix it, and then there's a happy ending. Luckily, the happy ending was for us, you know, winning the game. But their fans were great. That's a great town, and a lot of emotions.
So the storybook script, you could not write the script last week with Mason Espinoza coming back. But then it gets even more interesting when you announce that defensive coordinator Damian Daniels, the Nighthawk, is coming back in a Columbus Lions uniform. He hasn't played since 2016, and he comes back and makes a huge impact. First of all, you're able to get the stop. Carolina had the ball first. You get the huge turnover. Mason marches down the field. You're up 7-0. Tommy Grady airs it out. A great tip by Desmond Reese. And then the Nighthawk, he got his nickname because he is a ball hawk, takes it all the way to the house, and you're up 14-0. I know that there's emotions running by the teammates, your defensive coordinator suiting up, and you've got to be ecstatic having a 14-0 lead, and Damian Daniels making a huge play on defense.
Well, it's like having your binky, you know, your little security blanket. You know, you stick him in the field, man, and the guy's in shape. I mean, what can you say? I've been seeing him do that, you know, 117 times I've seen him do that. And he just keeps adding to the total, but when he did it, I didn't expect anything less. It was so fitting. We talked about that on the bus. I said, guys, what happens if this guy gets a pick in the first quarter, runs it back for a touchdown? I swear you not, we said that on the bus. But what's people don't see, I took a video. This is really interesting. I took a video. We got to the arena at 3:30, so we're 3.5 hours early before the game even starts, okay? Players are sitting around, leaning on the wall. Guys are talking to whoever, hanging out. And I took a video, and he's out there by himself already warming up, getting ready, locked in. That's why he is who he is. That's why he's as great as he is. And he's just the ultimate professional. Even being 4 or 5 years removed from the game, he understands what it takes to practice. He understands what it takes to win. And, I mean, God, just one of the greatest competitors I've ever been around. You know what I'm saying? And so to see him do that, I expected nothing different.
Carolina had some turnovers. You were able to take advantage. Went up 21-6. their quarterback, Tommy Grady, they signed him it was a move to try to get a bigger push in the playoffs. He was a little rusty, and he did score a touchdown, but he did get injured, and in came Malik Henry,
right,
who beat you guys a couple of weeks ago. He did not have a good game against Jacksonville the week prior, but they had a rule where he was forced to exit because he came into the game, and then Tommy Grady came back in and re-injured himself, and you guys were able to jump out to the 33-13 lead at the half, knowing that you're going to get the ball back to start the second half. But let's talk about that play. There are a lot of people that are watching the game on YouTube were questioning that illegal defense and then the scoop and score, that it was just a botched snap by the quarterback. They had their fourth string quarterback in there. Smith was in there.
I know, he made a terrible throw. Well, actually it was a good throw. I mean, the thing was turning sideways. But God, he gets in there and throws a great pass. I mean, Adam moved the ball. I got to give him credit. He threw that pass. That was, to me, that touchdown was bad on our end. Good for him. That was good.
But let's talk about that play. I know that they kept reviewing it.
Yep.
It looked like it was overturned. They brought it all the way back. But you have linebackers. It's called the jack box. There's only a certain linebacker can actually move in motion in the tackle box. Describe what would illegal defense be to your average viewer.
Illegal defense is the linebackers are not allowed to blitz outside the edge to go get to the quarterback. I mean, and there's some other stuff to it. I'm not going to bore you everybody on the show with it. But basically, illegal defense, the linebacker, first of all, the jack linebacker can never blitz. That was the issue. The jack linebacker blitzed and the corner kind of came off the edge. So that's what they were arguing. Obviously, we're talking about they were in the gun. They're in the shotgun, all right, with the running back. They snapped it. As soon as they snapped it, it was going to be a handoff. But as soon as they snapped it, he muffed the ball. The ball was bouncing all over the place. It hadn't hit the ground yet, but it's bouncing all over the place. So it's a muff, okay? And once that happened, our linebacker blitzed outside, which technically is illegal defense, but he blitzed outside, and then Damian Daniels came off the edge. Once he saw the ball bouncing around, he shot. Of course, we picked it up. Kevin Fuller runs it down, pitches it Damian, and we score. So they challenged that it was illegal defense. Now, what's the fans don't know, everybody thought it was a big debacle, so I'm trying to explain this the simplest way I can. That same scenario happened in Orlando week 4, week 5. We snapped the ball over Darren Daniels' head. But the ball was still within the quarterback box, which is arena football. Arena football rules state if the ball, the quarterback, or the fullback leaves the box, leaves the tackle's shoulders, then all bets are off. There's no legal defense. And so when they snapped the ball over Damian Daniels' head in that game, the ball was still inside of technically that box. But Orlando came around the edge, just like Kevin Fuller did, picked up the ball, went in and scored. I threw a red flag. I argued the ball was still in the box. There's no way that it was illegal defense. The ironic thing is that week following the game, emails came out from the head of officials, came out from the coach from Orlando, other coaches in the league, no names, that all agreed that we need to make this rule a lot simpler. If the ball's ever muffed, the second the ball's muffed, there's no illegal defense. I was on that email chain. I'm the only one that was against it because I remember all the other coaches were like, no, I agree, let's do this. That email went out, it was adopted, it came out from the commissioner. And so when that play happened in the game, they went to the tunnel and came out and said, yeah, coach, it was legal defense, no touchdown. I said, whoa. You guys remember that email you sent out? And then when I went through it, the officials were like, yeah, you're right, I forgot. And so then they had to go over and explain to them. So for all the fans watching the game, sorry for the confusion. I hope that cleared up for you. That is the rule. I would gladly provide emails. But that's the rule. It's unfortunate that it just happens. But, the fans are riding the officials. You got to remember, and from the official standpoint, you know what? Players miss blocks. Players drop passes, and they get paid a lot of money too. I mean, I'm sure the 5 players that they signed, they paid a lot of money to. They made bad throws. Nobody said anything. The officials are not going to be perfect. What was key is they got the call right. That's what's key. And so that's what really happened at halftime. So,
all right. We'll be back with a quick commercial break. You are watching Roar Time.
Beam is delivering gig speed internet to 100% of our network. But should you get a gig? Well, if you want to download an album in a blink, video conference in 4K, make virtual reality more real, power all of your home smart devices at the same time, and still have bandwidth to stream everything without buffering, then yeah, you gotta get a gig. So call, click, or visit and get it. Because when you gotta get a gig, you gotta go with Beam. Bringing East Alabama more.
Mountain Dew Spark might hypnotize you. You might want to stop staring. Stop staring at the delicious Mountain Dew Spark.
Oh, perfect timing. Come on in. It's just not cool in my house. It normally makes a noise. I don't know why it's not.
Have to fix it?
I can't believe it. You fixed it.
Let's be honest, climate control's not that easy. We love what we do, and there's nothing better than a job well done. To be there when you need it most.
Vector Ply Corporation is a world-leading manufacturer of carbon, fiberglass, and Kevlar composite fabrics located in Phoenix City, Alabama. Our customers depend on us to produce iconic brands such as Malibu and Nautique boats, Cub Crafter airplanes, and the historic C8 mid-engine Corvette. Even the light poles surrounding the Columbus Civic Center were produced by a Vector Ply customer using Vector Ply fabrics. If you're looking for an exciting career with a growing manufacturer located right here in the Chattahoochee Valley, visit our website, VectorPly.com, to learn more about Vector Ply and our opportunities.
Well, folks, it's only 8 a.m. and it's going to be another hot one. Today's high is 85 degrees.
Babe, it's 8 a.m.
Fried chicken, better with Pepsi.
He's the buzz around town, man, haven't you heard? Sent by Mike Costello Law Firm to spread the word. You've been injured in the wreck, we can help in most cases. We literally come to you in most places. Workers' compensation and all car wreck. Our team is working really hard to try to get you a check. So do yourself a favor and listen to me and call 844-GET-MIKE. Do yourself a favor and listen to me and call 844-GET-MIKE. Told you to do yourself a favor and I hope that you learn. Been in the wreck, call a Mike Costello Law Firm.
The Outskirts Sports Bar and Grill. Nobody does food like The Outskirts. Amazing wings, appetizers, baskets, and burgers. And Mr. Henry's Lunch Buffet is the best in town. All-you-can-eat Southern cooking for only $10. Follow The Outskirts on Facebook for the latest on nightly entertainment, sports, music, and the best food in town. The Outskirts Sports Bar and Grill, corner of Veterans Parkway and Whitesville Road in Columbus.
Welcome back to Roar Time. I'm your game day commentator, Richard Holdridge, along with Coach Gibson. So the Columbus Lions, they get a touchdown. They go up 39-13 to start the second half. But Carolina made their comeback. Malik Henry in at quarterback. They took advantage of a turnover on a kickoff return by Darren Townsend. 2 turnovers. They could not convert on fourth down. They got 33 unanswered points, and they grab a 46-39 lead. And that really fired up the crowd. All the momentum was going into Carolina's favor. However, the Columbus Lions were able to be resilient. Mason Espinoza took advantage of a free play, a wide-open Jarman Fortson, and then you had a scenario where you had to make a decision, either tie it and the game could continue on or go for 2. What was the decision that went through the decision to go for 2?
We'd already missed 4 extra points. So I'm not going to take a chance on a 50-50 kick to tie a game. That's not logic. Plus, you're on the road. Anytime you're on the road, you go for the win. If I was at home, you go for the tie, and you play overtime. That's just the rules. That's the way I played. If we had been at home, I probably would have kicked it. Maybe I don't know. I doubt it. But that's the rule set. But you got Mason Espinoza and the players we have. They were already kind of down. I didn't want to give them a chance to get some life, and I went for 2, knowing if we missed it, I could still onside kick it and still have a chance to get the ball. And didn't have to worry about it. Mason made a great play. We actually made that play up in the huddle. Never ran it before. We got in the huddle and said, this is what they're doing. How about we do this, this, and this? All right, yeah, let's go. Let's run it. That's what we did, and it worked. And Townsend made an unbelievable catch, as he always does.
And you escape Greensboro Coliseum with the win, 6-5 on the season, with one final game in the regular season. Saturday night against the Orlando Predators, who were already eliminated from the playoffs. But the playoff scenario is crazy right now because currently the Albany Empire are the number 1 seed. Carolina still has an opportunity to get the 1 seed if they beat Jacksonville, which, by the way, suspended Devin Wilson from that San Antonio game for the referee. So that is going to be crucial because they're losing their best wide receiver. However, that game is in Jacksonville.
Good luck.
So if Jacksonville beats Carolina,
they're 4 seed,
and you beat Orlando, Columbus will be the 2 seed, and we will be hosting a playoff game at the Columbus Civic Center.
Absolutely. It's great. It's just great parity amongst the league. You're going into week 14, and every single seed, the seeding is up for grabs. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That is, you couldn't ask for a better script. You couldn't ask for better for the league. So glad the league went Iron Man football. I think it builds parity. I think it built the parity in the league, because, I mean, at the end of the day, what's going to happen is without the Iron Man creates a level playing field. So you can't go out and just buy victories, which people try to do. It didn't work. But, you try. You can't just load up whoever has the biggest bank account. You got to try to create the parity in the league. I mean, if we were going into week 14, Richard, and we had, like last year, it was a 2-horse race, man. It was Albany and Columbus, and nobody else could compete with those 2 teams. Just the way it was. But now with arena rules and the way things are going, I think it creates parity. But good gosh, I mean, we could finish second, we could finish third, we could finish fourth. Albany could be second, Carolina could, the scenarios are unlimited. But us winning at home, I feel pretty good at because we're playing at home. And then Jacksonville, I do not want to play in Jacksonville. I don't see Carolina. If they go down there and pull this one off, I'd be shocked. I would be shocked because that is a hard place to play. Jacksonville has a lot riding on the game. If they win the game and we lose, they're the 2 seed. And that's a big deal in Jacksonville. You can talk to their ownership. I know Steve and those guys down there. They need that home game financially. And so do I. But to be able to fight back from where we are to have this opportunity, sets up a lot of situations.
So Albany has pretty much clinched either the number 1 or number 2
Correct.
seed. They own the tiebreaker with Columbus. If they're able to defeat San Antonio and Carolina wins, if Carolina wins, they're the number 1 seed. But let's talk about some of the playoff scenarios because right now, if Columbus wins, they're guaranteed at least the number 3 seed.
Correct.
And they'll get the number 2 seed if Carolina loses. I know that you're going to play either 3 opponents in the playoffs, either at home or either on the road. And I know that Orlando wants to play spoiler. They've had a very disappointing season, but they have a very talented quarterback. Clarence Williams, a great wide receiver. You played Orlando on the road, lost 48-44, mounted the comeback there, and had the ball at the end of the game with a chance to win.
Twice.
Exactly. And Orlando is going to want to play the role of spoiler. But looking at their quarterback, Cato, and they got some talented wide receivers, Clarence Williams, and, of course, the former Columbus Lion, Lonnie Outlaw. When you're looking at Orlando, you want to make sure that you get the win. But what are you looking forward to this game Saturday?
Us continuing to keep just being efficient, getting better, and really getting playoff ready. We've won 2 in a row now. Mason's back. We've got to continue that slide, but we got to win at home. You got to win all your home games. That's priority number 1. Regardless of how the playoffs play out and who wins, who loses, you win your home games in front of your home crowd, and you play great defense. And so hopefully, and you stay healthy. So that's my goal. I want to, avenge the loss. That was one of the ones that I looked back on all season and thought, that was a really bad loss. I really felt, you go down there and lose by 4 points. You had 6 turnovers and, 1,800 sacks, and it was just a bad game all around. And we still had a chance to win that game. That one slipped from us.
All right, with it being the final regular season home game at the Columbus Civic Center this Saturday night at 7 o'clock. It is back to school night. Any other promotional deals that you have going for the game?
We have got a halftime show that you are going to have to see from Frankie Ellison. He was on America Got Talent, and they're going to do a halftime show you are not going to want to miss. One of the best. I think it's going to make somebody disappear. So you got to see that. It's back to school night. Superintendent of schools will be out there flipping the coin toss. All the suites are sold. All the upstairs suites are sold. It's going to be a great night. Everybody's got to use their flex tickets. So it's our first Saturday night game since I don't know when. It's been a while.
Yes.
And so I'm excited for that as well. And it's going to be a really good night.
All right, thanks, Coach. Before we close, I do want to talk about league expansion. They announced that the new expansion team in the National Arena League is going to be a team from Fayetteville, and being one of the owners for the National Indoor Soccer League Columbus Rapids, we're used to the Fayetteville Fury. They're going to play there, the same place in Fayetteville. With more teams possibly coming to the league, how important is that to get more teams and to have actually more home games? Because the Carolina and Jacksonville were contractually obligated to have 14 games. But we want to have more fans, we want to have more games, and more teams as well.
Well, I think you got to have the right teams. It doesn't do any good to have 16 teams if 7 of them are bad operated, poorly operated, poorly ran. I think Fayetteville's a good market. It's good. It's a great arena. Got a chance to meet their owner, nice guy. So I look forward to working with them. We might have one more team. I think we can get to 8 teams next year. 8 solid, really good teams and have this same kind of competition level, same chaos at the end of the season. That's perfect versus getting. Let's get to 12 teams. And I look at what everybody says, we need to get to 12 teams, and we got to get a TV contract. How about you put fans in the seats? Okay, don't stop talking about TV contracts and stuff you're never going to get. People have been talking about that crap for 20 years. Focus on the things that make you money, and that stuff will come down the road. And I'm excited for Fayetteville. Hopefully we can pick up one more. And we'll be playing 7 games next year. We're already doing season ticket renewals, so make sure you can give the Lions office a call so we can get you guys' seats lined up. I've got a ton on my desk right now. People are already blowing our phones up, trying to lock in their seats for next year. But I don't want to worry about next year. I want to win Saturday. This is what you're in it for. This is why you sell all those sponsorships. Thank you to Vector Ply, Riley Heating and Air, Dr. J. Broadwin, Baseline Coatings, and Outskirts Bar and Grill for putting on this show all year long. Those are great local sponsors that really support our community and sports. So we've got to get this win Saturday night. This is what I'm in it for, and this is going to be exciting.
Coach, I'm really excited and looking forward to Saturday night calling the game with Jared Dillard. And we definitely got to get the Columbus Civic Center packed with fans. And good luck Saturday night, and we look forward to seeing you in the playoffs as well.
Sounds good.
Hey, thank you. That was head coach of the Columbus Lions, head coach Jason Gibson. I am Richard Holderidge. You are watching another episode of Roar Time. Thank you for watching the episode, and stay tuned for next week's episode. Hope everybody has a good night.